All righty, brother. So how you doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. So you may not know me. I was actually at the last mastermind. I was kind of just hanging out in the back, helping with, setup and things like that.
Got you. Okay. Okay.
And so I do remember seeing you specifically sitting at the bar. But like I said, there was so many people that I just didn't even get the chance to talk to
Talk
everyone.
to anybody. Got you. No problem, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a crazy time. I
It
mean,
was,
what'd you think about all that, man?
it was amazing. It was life changing. Life changing. Just to see all the transformation. It was
Right.
incredible.
Yeah.
To see that many people kind of going through similar things, but different things at the same time and breaking through. That was an experience that I wouldn't change.
Yeah, it's definitely emotional to say the least, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. But no, I'm excited, man, to just see your progress, see where you go, and then are you going to be at the next mastermind or the Clarity to
Actually,
Cash?
actually, the one in September I won't be because I have a 19-day European trip with my wife.
Oh, wow. Okay. All
Yeah.
right, man. Hey,
So,
I'd much rather be doing
yeah, I'll
that.
be I'll be in Italy and Greece. So
Okay, very cool. No, that's awesome,
unfortunately,
man.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually just booked a trip to Vegas. So, me, Mike, Michelle, and the whole gang are going at the end of May. So
Okay.
we'll see how that goes. I've never been, me personally, so I'm a
I've
little
been I've
nervous,
been
man.
I've been a couple times. It's pretty busy. It
Okay. All right. I'm excited. I'm excited.
could
Well,
get
all right,
pretty
man.
busy.
We'll just jump into it. Like I said, this is super casual. This isn't by any means like a coaching call or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
strictly about you, where you're at and where you're going, essentially.
Gotcha.
Um, so I guess like first question I have for you is like, could you take me back to a moment essentially when you realized that it was like, your aha moment was like, I can't keep doing life this way. What have to change? What that look like for you?
Well, when my wife had told me at the beginning of last year that she was retiring, it ran a lot of stuff in through my head. And when she told me that, I said, okay, she's older than I am. So I'm like, okay, I got 6 more years before I retire. What's that going to look like? Is she going to have to wait 6 years? And when I started thinking like that, it reminded me of my mom and dad. Same scenario. My mom was 9 years older than my dad, and she wanted him to retire because she had been retired for about 20 years
Hmm.
from disability. And she was just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And when the time came for him to retire, he didn't. And he just kept going and kept going, just kept telling me 1 more year, 1 more year. So as my wife told me that, I thought about the same scenario. And then unfortunately, a year before he was supposed to retire, he got ran over by a cement truck at
Oh,
work.
wow.
Yeah. And he was the healthiest. He was like an ox, no diabetes, no nothing, no ailments, no nothing. I thought that man was gonna live forever, and that flipped our world upside down. And as I had that experience through um with our family, I had that experience. It just resonated with me again when my wife said she was retiring. I said to myself, I don't want to wait. I don't want to. It put me in a because I had that experience in my head, it put me in a situation where I need to hurry up and enjoy my life with my wife. I don't want to keep just doing this and doing this. So that's what made me push that button of saying, okay, I got to do this because I want to retire early, and I don't want to wait until I get to 67, which is my retirement age. I said, there's no way I'm going to wait and have her wait for me. And so I pressed that button and here we are.
Right. No, yeah, that's awesome, man. Like, I think one of the things too that most Americans or just people in general get caught up with nowadays is, we're just stuck in this rat race, right? And so I think we're conditioned to think that, okay, well, you have to work till you're, 67, for some even later, past well into your 70s to have, just a little teeny amount of freedom, right? A little bit amount of financial income, right? Because when it comes to Social Security, right, it's just based off what you made over the years. And even then, it's not a whole lot, right? So for most people, when they do get to that age, it's like, well, they could barely even afford to live or do the things that they actually want. So it's like you wasted all this time, right? Going from the day you started working till 67. And it's like, well, now you can't even afford that lifestyle that you want, which is just insane, you know? But yeah, previous to that, man, I mean, what'd your days look like as far as, getting before you got into the mastermind and things like that? Was it just grinding or what was that
Yeah,
like?
so I'm a salesman for a pest control company. I sell commercial pest control. I've been doing that for 30 years. But during that whole time frame, I became a network marketer. I started network marketing when I was 28 years old. Got involved in my first company, and I thought I found it. I thought that I thought that this is it. I'm going to retire early. I want to retire early. I'm going to do this thing. Look at all these people winning, and I started on my path. And I've been in. I counted the other day. I've been in 14 different companies, and some companies I had success, and others nothing. And it just I was just spinning my wheel and chasing people, and it just got tiring. It got tiring. It got excuse me. It got tiring. It got to the point where I said to myself, "Man, I just all kinds of things change with that. You know, the comp plan changed, company closes down, just all kinds of stuff. The leadership leaves. I had no control over my business. I had no control whatsoever. You know, one day you're making 25% and they change it to 15, or
Mhm.
so on and so forth. So yeah, I had no control. So I don't know. I tried affiliate marketing. I tried selling insurance. Um, it just didn't work. And I just got so frustrated that I said, I'm done. I'm done.
Right. So what do you so which so I come from a sales background as well, and I actually used to work for Terminex. So if you were in the pest control business, you've heard of Terminex, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So did that. I was actually on the residential side of things though for them. And then, I switched to Orkin for a little bit, but it's like you said. Oh, you were with Orkin as well?
Yes, I was working for 26 years, and now I'm
Oh, wow.
I'm with
Okay.
Sega Pest Control now.
Very cool. Very cool, man. Yeah, and so like I said, I enjoyed it, right? But it wasn't enough. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So you had mentioned that you were with all these different network marketing groups and things like that, different companies. So what do you think to you was the biggest difference between all those and the DG mastermind that you're in now?
Control. I have control over the products I want to sell. I have control over how my business runs. I have the most important one of all of them is I have control over my customers. In other words, I have a email list where in the company, the email list was the company's, whatever company I was involved in, that was it was their email list. And so if I moved on, then that email list was lost with them. So I have a lot more control, and then making 100% profit. You know, it's all mine. It's 100% profit. So it's just so different and so much powerful here because here's a product that I paid for one time, but I can continuously resell it, and resell it. In network marketing, I buy a product, I sell it, I got to buy another product and sell it, and then I got to buy another product.
Right.
Here, I buy the product one time, and from that one time, I can continue to resell it and resell it and resell it and resell it as many times as I want to. And I only buy to me, it just doesn't make sense to buy a product one time and you can become a millionaire selling that same product over and over and over. That is power, and
Yeah.
that's what attracted me. That power attracted me.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, right? Just seeing, what like Michelle has done with it and some of the other people within the community has just been amazing, also inspiring because it it makes you realize what's actually possible, right? Right. 'Cause there is that little bit of fear when you do join. It's like, well, can that be me? It's like, can I do it? Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, being where you are now, what would you think would be the biggest piece of advice that you could give someone who's like just getting started, right? Who's just dipping their toes now with this?
You know, I would tell them is that because here's the thing, we believe, but we don't trust.
I
That
like
that
that.
that is two different things. We believe that it can happen, but we don't trust that it can happen. And I think that that's where the big disconnect for people are. Yeah, I believe it, but oh my God. So I'll give you a greatest example. We believe in banks, right? But do you have your money in that bank? Because we believe that the bank system will work.
Right.
The bank that you trust is where you put your money,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's what I tell people here. There's no way that you can trust until you find out all the information. And I think the biggest mistake that people make is they don't find out all the information. They don't get to meet the people. They don't get to talk to the right people about this community. And I think that that's the biggest mistake that people will make is that they're so afraid to step out. But in life, business and achieving your dream is about stepping out, falling, and then getting up again until you find that one thing that allows you to move forward. I mean, I was in 14 different network marketing companies. I've done affiliate marketing, I've done insurance, and I started doing this. I found what I needed to do, and I trusted it, and it's just been amazing.
Right. Now, I know you said, you're kind of you in this, for your parents, for your family, right? Give them something that, you've wanted to give them. I mean, say 12 months from now, when you make it, right? When you actually do it, what changes? What does your life look like essentially?
Man, you're gonna make me cry. I've been looking for the success. At 12 months from now, it's just gonna be such a big old weight off the shoulders of something. It has not even anything to do with the money. It has to do of failing all these years trying to do network marketing, failing all these years, and finally I can go, I did it. I did it. I did it. What I wanted to accomplish, I did it. And then for me, because I'm in retirement age, it's like riding off to the sunset. It's
Right.
like it's like the end of the movie. For me, that's the best way that I can go out, the end of the movie. But here's the one, for me, the one most important thing in the world. I have 7 children. I have 33 grandchildren.
Oh, wow.
10, 10 of those grandchildren are great grandchildren.
Mhm.
When I go, I just want them to know that I never gave up. That I never gave up. Even at 61, I never gave up. And I want to show them that when they look at themselves at 61, dreams are still a possibility. That when they look back and said, my grandfather never gave up, my dad never gave up, that they still have the opportunity to achieve their dreams. Because to me, the question is, at what age do you stop dreaming? There's no rule. There's no rule for you to stop dreaming. At what age does that come? And I want, in 12 months from now, I can say to them, your legacy is that you watched me through the battles. Your legacy is that you watched me fight and you watched me fall and you watched me break. But I got through it, I achieved it, and that's the best legacy that I can leave my children.
No, that's awesome, man. That's beautiful. You were choking me up over here. So, no, I love it, man. Yeah, and that's at the end of the day, I think, yeah, that's all that anyone wants, right? It's to be that one, right? I think because we all have one in each family, right? It's like you want to be the one that makes it. You want to be the one that's the difference, right? So it's like, why not break that cycle and be the first to do it so that your generations after you don't have to worry about a thing, right? Or they're set, which is amazing, man. I love that. So what do you think is like some of the things or maybe the biggest thing that's different about you now compared to before you joined?
Being truthful to myself. Now it's about, before I would say, yeah, yeah, this is what I want. But it wasn't what I wanted. I was just going by what other people wanted. Now it's about being true to myself and understanding what I'm trying to accomplish. And I have always been a giver. I run a nonprofit organization where we do scholarships for Puerto Rican students, and that's my passion. My passion is helping people, helping young people achieve their dreams and their goals. My passion, I have this crazy thing about wanting to be a motivational speaker and a coach. Um, that's the one thing that just I'm just I just love inspiring people. I just that's the thing that to me that comes natural. And this program is pulling it out of me. Pulling out the I'm not scared to do that now. I'm not scared to tell people I want to be a coach. I want to help you. I want to help this world. I want to help my children, my grandchildren. And I just want to inspire people to believe in themselves and not give up.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. And I get that vibe from you as well. I think it's highly possible, right? Um, and I just hope that you do stick with it and that eventually you get to that point because yeah, maybe at the next mastermind we have you come up and give a speech.
Hey, and that's when it's showtime. I
Yeah,
love
there we go.
I love when it's showtime, when it's time for me to inspire people. That I know for a fact that that's what God put me in to be able to speak to people and give them some motivation. I know that for a fact that just it's in my bones, it's in my core, and I just love doing that. And it's not a matter of if I do it, it will be done.
Right. It's just when is the
Yes,
question, right?
it will be
Yeah,
done.
no, I definitely get that sense from you, man, and I think you will. So far, right, through your journey, with the company, what are you most proud of accomplishing so far? It doesn't have to be one thing, it could be multiple things.
The one thing that I'm proud of what I've accomplished here is going online. My age is 61, man. I was like, man, what making content. I never ever saw myself doing something like that. Even it's crazy to think about because even though I wanted to be a motivational speaker or somebody to inspire people, I never saw myself doing content. I saw myself maybe going to, a public school and speaking to young kids or, in my nonprofit organization that I speak at our charity events. I saw things like that, but I never saw myself doing content, dealing with technology and all that stuff and being behind the camera. That has been the biggest growth. Um, and it's just funny where God takes you and the way he positions you to do what you have to do. But it's just amazing to think that's the thing that I never saw myself doing, and that's the biggest growth that has come out of this. Besides the money, that's been the biggest growth for me, and now I love it because at 61, in 10 years from now, everything is going to have to do with technology. I don't care where you go. Everything is going to be technology. Everything is going to be online and stuff like that. And if you stay behind the power curve, then you're going to get lost.
Right. No, I completely agree, man. That is true. Yeah, it's a technological age definitely that we're living in now, and it just seems to be getting more and more advanced every day, right? Especially with AI and all these different applications that we have going on. Yeah, it's definitely hard to keep up. So we talk a lot about like mindset, and things like that within the program. So what for you, like, right? Because I sense from you too, just by talking to you, that there was a shift essentially that happened, right? While just going through the program. What do you think, like, what mind shift essentially like made the biggest difference for you?
Going to the mastermind, going to the mastermind and seeing, I talk a lot about being true to yourself. When I went to the mastermind, I saw how Michelle and Mike were being true to themselves or who they are. And I pictured myself, when I made that shift, I pictured myself somewhat in, sometimes you choose a mentor that he doesn't even know that you choose him. He doesn't even know. It's not like you go up to that person and say, hey, can you mentor me? Sometimes you choose a mentor that you just automatically follow. And that was Mike for me. And it's crazy to think that when I was going to go to the mastermind, I said, man, it'll be cool not to know Mike. It would be cool to be his friend.
Mhm.
That's what I thought in my mind. I saw him doing his presentations. I saw him doing our training and our teaching. And I didn't say I want to be like him. I just said it would be cool to be his friend. And when I got to the mastermind, me and him connected in a way that I said, wow, this is cool. And it was just so powerful for someone and Michelle, for some people at their, and I don't want to say status because that's not the type of individuals that they are,
Right.
but what they have accomplished, I really respect. And for me to be able and for him to open up and allow me to be his friend, to me, that was the power that allowed me to go boom and shift and say, I can be like that guy.
Definitely.
I could be like
Definitely.
that guy. He's normal. He's a superstar, but he's normal. And I could be a superstar just like him. And
Absolutely.
that's what the mastermind has done for me. It's connected me to who I really need to become and who I really am. And all that fear just went boom. All that fear just exploded and went away. And now I really don't I really don't give a crap what people think about me. I want to speak my piece.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. Yeah, I love it. It's, it's like so many others, right? When it comes to Mike, yeah, he does have a way of making you feel, like he's known you for 10 plus years, right? It's just a natural thing, the ability that he has, whatever it may be. Yeah, he got it. I've known Mike for almost 15 years now, right? I met him when I was 15 years old, essentially.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, I've just been friends with him ever since. And, I've worked with him in the past and, we're doing this now. But yeah, one thing I can say to you honestly is that he is one of the most selfless, genuine people that I have met. And he truly cares, about helping others. And so I do love that about him. So, if let's say if you could sit down with, someone who's where you were 6 months ago, what do you think you'd say to them, or what's a big piece of advice that you'd give them?
Trust the process. Trust the process. This type of business, this type of entrepreneurship, you have to trust the process. Trust the people who have gone before you and follow their footsteps. Here's what Michelle and Mike have done. I'm a ex-military. I'm a veteran, and so when somebody clears a minefield, why would you want to walk through the other side where they haven't cleared the minefield?
Right.
It doesn't make sense because they've already they already either removed those mines out of the way for you to walk that path. Here's the problem with people. They every time they take a step, they don't trust. They don't trust enough to say, Michelle and Mike took that mine out of there. Why are you still nervous? Well, because there's still mines. Yeah, but this path here, they took them out. They're gone. But then what people do is they go, yeah, okay, I know that, but and then they go left, right into the minefield, and they go right into the minefield. And then what winds up happening is that when they do take a left or right because they want to deviate just a little bit, and they start hitting those minefields, they go, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I tried it, it doesn't work. No, you just deviated out of the minefield. You deviated out of the minefield because you didn't trust enough, because you didn't believe enough, because you didn't you got out of the system. You got out of the system. And I think some people through that minefield, some people trust enough that they go fast. Some people still take steps, little steps, and they stay within the minefield, but they grow a little bit slower, but they still take that minefield path. They still take that path. And then some people they go left or right and they get out of the minefield. So I tell people, you got to trust the system. Trust the system.
Yeah, no, agree 100%, man. It's one of those things where, it's like we've already figured out the problems, dealt with the problems. Like you said, you hit the nail on the head with that analogy, man. That was perfect. It's like, we've already cleared a path for you, right? We've already gotten rid of everything that could be in your way. And it's like if you just follow it, well, then you'll get to where you're headed, essentially. But it's like, but if you take a detour, essentially, you're going to end up somewhere where you don't want to be, right? Or you're going to have problems getting out of. And then essentially, right, it trickles down. And then, right, we get down on yourself and we start thinking, oh, well, maybe I can't do this. Maybe this isn't for me. But if you follow what already works, you'll be just fine, essentially. So, but yeah, man, no, I love that. So what do you think you've learned about yourself through this entire journey, essentially from just the beginning?
You know, I used to doubt myself quite a bit. Um, I don't think it was I don't think it was because of I was in my head and I was in my mind. I was just afraid of success. I was afraid of what that would look like, and I didn't know what will it take when I get successful to stay successful. What would it take to stay successful? What would that look like to stay there? Because the last thing I want to do is get up there and fall. Because then people are gonna be like, ah, yeah, you were up there, but look where you're at now. But I realized that business is that way. You go up, it comes down. It goes up, it comes down. It goes up, it comes down until you until you get to the six, seven, 8 figures. It's always going to be a downhill, and then you learn. Downhill, then you learn. Downhill, then you learn. And I think that that's the one thing that now that's totally different about me is like I'm gonna have to fail. What does Michelle say? 24, 25 times before I do that. The but the biggest thing is that when I did that analogy of the minefield, here's the most dangerous part of that minefield. Some people carry their own minds and throw it in front of them. Some,
Exactly.
some people carry the mine and throw it in front of them. They don't deviate. They just keep throwing that minefield in front of them so that they say, I can't do this. And that's the
No.
biggest thing. So all that is cleared. All that's gone. It's just the path and getting the work done now.
Yeah, definitely. So it sounds definitely like there's a lot of clarity now compared to when you first started, and you know
Very
where
much,
you're headed and you know how to get there, essentially.
very
No, I
much so.
love that. So, and then I just a couple more questions for you, and then we'll wrap it up, brother. So, what advice would you give to someone scared to start?
Start scared. That scary part is not gonna go away. Just start scared. If you're gonna wait until you're not scared, you'll never be in business ever. Ever. Do it scared because it's not going to go away. I still get nervous sometimes when I go live. That doesn't being scared doesn't go away. That's why that word is in the dictionary. If scared was something that we can eliminate, it wouldn't be in the dictionary. Somebody would take it out. It wouldn't be there. Scared, fear, whatever you want to call it, is part of growing up. You just have to learn how to deal with it, right? It's just how many times how many times do our children leave the house and we just pray that nothing happens to them? That never goes away. But then we give them a little bit more. We give them a little bit more. Yeah, you can spend the night at your friend's house. Yeah, you can spend the week over here. Yeah, you can go to summer camp for a week. Yeah, you can go to Europe. Those fears never go away. We just learn how to live with them. You got to learn how to live with them. I would lie to you to tell you, well, you should think of positive thinking stuff, but no, scared is gonna be there. Just do it scared. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. I love that. What you said, fear doesn't go away. You just learn to live with it, which is, yeah, I have children of my own, so I completely get it, you know. Yeah, that's amazing, man. So now, you know, from where you first started going through this entire journey, what do you know now is possible?
Wow, man, I know that now the lives that I'm going to change and the possibilities of being able to create my thing is, for the next 12 months to 12 to 24 months, my goal is to help 300 people achieve 10 to 20 grand a month, and my coaching program, that is for me the thing that I'm gonna release next month, my coaching program. And the things that are man, right now my mind is just spinning with so much excitement, and the things that this mastermind has taught me and Michelle and Mike have pushed me through, you know, to the point of, man, it's becoming unstoppable. It's becoming unstoppable because the only way this engine stops is that if I shut it off. But here's what the mastermind has done. The engine for me right now doesn't stop because I threw away the key, so I can't put it in to turn it off. You got to throw away the key so you can't turn it off.
I love that. No, you're absolutely right, man. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Yeah, yeah, no, I'm just and that was pretty much my last question that I had for you, brother. But no, I absolutely agree with you 1,000%. Um, I think you're headed in the right direction. And I truthfully think that you're going to get there, brother. You just have the personality for it. You're very genuine when it comes to your story about wanting to help people and things like that. And, I think if you just, stay on the path, like you said, that there's no doubt in my mind that you're not going to get there, brother. I truly think that. And, I'm excited to see what you do in the future. I'm going to, I keep up with everybody's progress. So I'm just, and, I can't wait to meet you in person, brother.
Same
And,
here. Same here.
yeah, no, I appreciate your time today as well, man. Taking the time to speak with me. We'll do it again. We're going to do these calls pretty much
Well, I appreciate you
frequently all the
guys,
time.
you know,
So,
wanting to interview us. So I really appreciate that. To
yeah,
me,
man.
that's a privilege and that's an honor.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your time, brother.